Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever or wherever you are. On this week's episode of Greetings From, it's all about E3. Get hyped! We discuss all of the video games that have been announced, will be announced, and may be announced. It's all of our dreams, hopes, and aspirations on this episode of Greetings From.
Greetings, travelers. It is June 9th, 2019, and this is episode 15 of the Greetings From podcast. My name is Rebecca Faye, and I am joined as always by my two very good friends. First, I would say I was speechless, but I have one more thing to announce this year. Peggle 2! Isn't that right, Olivia Quinn?
Man, Peggle's such a good game. I'm very excited for it.
Peggle 2! Did we ever get Peggle 2?
I was watching... Yeah, I think we did. I was watching
did?
Mr.
Okay.
Caffeine clips today because I thought that's what you were going to pull from, and I was like, I gotta be ready. Gotta be ready with my Mr. Caffeine.
I almost did. I almost did. And then I was like... I really like...
Mr. Caffeine's...
Time travel, doodly doodly doo.
That's it.
Doodly doodly doo.
Oh my god. E3's cancelled. I'm also joined as always by my other very good friend. I feel like a purple Pikmin. How about you, Tyler Smith?
I do. It's very true. I'm more of a red Pikmin though, so...
Oh, okay. That's fair. Sometimes I'm more of a yellow, but it just really depends on the day.
True.
Yeah.
But, I'm not Aries, I'm not fire, so, Hey.
What are we gonna do now there's no more Reggie? I mean, not like Nintendo has done a live treehouse in years, but...
But
What do we
I thought
do?
they did. I thought that was like their thing to do. Aren't they doing it this year again?
Yeah, but it's pre-recorded. Just like...
Oh,
press
is it?
play. Yeah.
I thought those puppets were real. This is bullshit. I want some live action puppetry, goddammit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not an E3 without some spectacle. Just wait for Ubisoft, and they'll come out with like a marching band and probably like mascot costumes, and it'll be Just Dance 2019.
Yeah,
you can always count on them for
Ubisoft.
that.
They really know how to do entertainment for sure.
Yes.
If a developer doesn't cry at the Ubisoft thing, I don't want to be there. I want to see Miyamoto there. And
That was very nice. That's kind of where I turned back around to Ubi when it was like they got to watch their games up on stage, and it was like, I'm here for this. I'm here for people that believe in their art. I want Yarny Guy to come back every year. Can you just keep making Unraveled?
Yes, Unraveled.
Unraveled. Yeah. All I could think of was Uncharted, and I was like, that seems wrong.
Keep making Uncharted.
Nathan Drake is like geriatric now. We have to put him to bed. He's lived too much. He's seen too many things. He's killed too many people. So we are brought together on this beautiful June day. It is June when we're recording this, so I'm not lying when I say that. To talk about the upcoming exciting week ahead of us. I say exciting, and I kind of mean kind of weird and awful, just like every year. It's E3 2019 season, y'all. Are y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, there's a lot. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of things that have been announced. The thing that makes this cast really weird is we usually start by talking about the news, except all the news is about E3. So why don't we start off by talking about some people who did some bad stuff and just get them out of the way. We can ring our little shame bell, and we can say goodbye to you. I guess cancel culture is bad, but you're still kind of canceled a little. Let's talk about some games after that. So, there's a man by the name of Jonathan Blow who said that indie games are boring. I think that's kind of a douche thing to say.
Says the indie developer. As an indie developer, that's fucking weird to say.
Right,
that was
but
whole thing.
He's obviously the only uproar.
I only caught bits and pieces of it, so can you tell me, please, the whole tweet thread? I just need that whole tweet thread.
I don't know if I know the whole tweet thread. I just know that he was like, games are boring now.
Yeah.
Except for Braid, I guess?
It seems like the general gist of what he was saying at this like show, I've got the article pulled up here from GameDaily.biz, was that he feels like game design in general is like stagnant and like it hasn't really been moving forward. And I think it's kind of like that form over story thing where it's like, oh hey, people are designing games, but they aren't really like thinking about the story as a part of it and the games and meshing it all together. And I'm like a highfalutin guy. My name's Jonathan Blow. And you better like get this right or your game's shit. Sorry. At least that was my read on it.
That sounds about right. I will say that I think this is very interesting coming from him. Like, I know that he got a lot of clout for Braid, obviously. And I really liked The Witness, but The Witness made some really stupid-ass design decisions, like putting the most difficult puzzles, like, right at the front when the player gets in. I think that was a really dumb idea, and, I mean, like, pot, meet kettle.
Yeah. I think one of the things in this article that, like, the quote he's quoted here as saying, like, someone was suggesting that there's a greater diversity of themes and topics that games tackle, but Blow, and I quote, says, I don't think that's happened. There was a brief period around 2008 to 2011 when that expanded, and then it's been stagnant pretty much. I don't think you can just pick a topic and make a game about it and have it be a great game. It doesn't really work that way.
I think you could definitely pick a topic and make a game about it. Like, has he checked the front page of Itch.io recently? There are, like, genres that I don't think even exist except for one game.
It's completely ridiculous.
Like,
I don't know. It seems like it seems more like a like I was saying, just like, oh, his whole point seems to speak to, like, if the game design isn't like a critical part of a story, then it's not a good game, which I don't think is true at all. So it's just kind of like, hey, Jonathan, maybe get off your high horse, please, dude.
I feel like he's just so far removed. Like, he's just not looking hard enough, maybe? Or, like, I don't know. Because literally a video game just came out called Kids, and it's about, like, fear of being in a crowd. And it's, like, on, I think it's on your phone. Or it might be on itch.io. I don't know. I literally just, discovered this game, like, maybe 3 hours ago. And it looks really, really good, and I want to play it, but, like, it's a weird-ass indie game, and you wouldn't find that with AAA, and it's like a, it's supposed to be, like, another, like, 40-minute, experience or whatever, like the game that came out last year that I don't remember what it was called, that I loved, but, anyway, my point is that indie games are out there, and indie games are still very weird, and just because, like, maybe he's thinking of, like, successful indie games, like, why aren't more weird indie games successful? And that's because they're weird.
I don't think that's like the quote in context states that he doesn't think that there's a greater diversity of game ideas that are done well, which I don't think is true.
Maybe.
Like, that's how I read his statement. I wasn't at the event. I'm just doing this based on the article. But sure. I don't know. It seems like Jonathan Blow kind of has a very clear idea of what is a good indie game, and those are his games.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what he wants from indie game developers. Like, where does he draw the line? Is it Radiator Yang? Is it Derek Yu? Is it I don't know.
So he does say that Steven Sausage Roll is an example of one of the few good games that he liked that's come out in the last couple years.
That's like the only fucking game he talks about. Anytime he's ever been like, I made The Witness because of Steven Sausage Roll, like, it's the only game that exists in the world. It's really weird. I mean, Steven Sausage Roll is very good. However, he has a very myopic view of games if that is, like, the thing that he's just riding on now unto eternity.
And I think the thing, like, if you draw a line from, like, Steven Sausage Roll to The Witness, like, that really intense difficulty that's taught through, like, these really complex systems, like, I think that's what he, like, to be really, give him a really generous read. I think that's what he wants more of, but I don't think those are the only games that provide value. You know what I mean? So I think indie games, the term indie games has enough room for everybody to be in here. And there are, like, I just don't think maybe he's not looking close enough at a lot of the games that have come out recently, as we've all said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it seems
absolutely.
to be a clash between, like, his generation of developers and then the younger generation of developers, where he's just like that old crotchety man, like, oh, those kids and their damn music, like, back in my day.
Those kids aren't pissing in jars while developing their games. I can't believe it.
Okay, so I'm reading, at the very end of this article, this is what he added his last tweet to that thread was, My number one beef with the younger generation of game makers is that there's this idea that making a game or making games is all about being in a community. As long as you're in that community and feel good, community feelings and making games, then you should succeed. Okay, I didn't know that when you're an indie developer, you should not be in a community. And like even if you're not an indie developer, if you're making fucking video games, you're in a community. Like, why would you not want to be in a community? Why would you want to be a social pariah? Anyway.
He sounds like the kind of guy that comes out and is like, I hate that these millennials all want a participation trophy. Like, yeah, that's what that has echoes of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. It totally comes off like that. And it's just like, okay, whatever you say.
I know.
I'm glad this kind of resurfaced. He's back in the news. He's back because everyone, like, posts all the things that he has said that were shitty. Like this long-ass
Which
Facebook
is a lot.
Post, which is a lot. It's super a lot. I've only respected him for like a super short time. I think that's when Indie Game the movie came out, and then the moment that came out, and like I did my like digging and did some research because I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Blah. I found all these things on him, and I was like, oh no, nope, no, thank you.
Well, he was the one that came out and said like 2 years ago that women are like genetically inferior. I don't know, inferior, and the reason why they're not coders or engineers is because of literally a genetic thing. Like they're not smart enough for that.
Just it was not like smart enough. Which is funny because I think I saw like a headline of an article or something. It said that women are actually more smarter than men in terms of coding. Apparently, I don't know. That's just a fucking headline article that I didn't read. But apparently, there's a study, and women are coders, not men. Who knew?
Who knew? Certainly not Jonathan Blow over in his shame corner. I just want to put out there that there's like a hidden ending to The Witness that made me really angry, which essentially involves you, I guess, waking up from this like game world that you're in, and it's a first person actual real videotape, IRL, shot at like head level of a guy like getting out of bed, going through his day, going to the office. It was like fucking 17 minutes long. It was just like...
That's where the piss jar comes from, isn't it? Because like there's a picture of the piss jar. I watched this video recently, so I was just like... Because I didn't understand like how we all knew about the piss jar until I saw that video and I was like, oh man, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, so... Thanks, but no thanks, Jay Blow. Dumb piece of shit. Anyway, somebody else made a little goof this week. It's actually a really significant goof and really, honestly, very shitty, but maybe not surprising coming from David Jaffe.
David Jaffe.
Is it Jaffe? Yeah. Okay. So David Jaffe opened his big dumbass mouth and started talking about how Kratos is bisexual. Kratos of God of War franchise.
Right.
Kratos is bisexual. Hooray! And then he quick came back and said, obviously you people don't know what I'm trolling. Kratos is straight to me. I'm just dunking on nerds who wanted to say that I was queer baiting. It went on for a really long time. Olivia, did you end up following all of it? Because I think this morning you had kind of brought this to our attention.
Yeah, I was just looking at it, and it seems like David Jaffe, like, it seems like he was trying to... According to him, he was trying to, like, troll the people who were getting mad that, you know, this person made a picture of Kratos as, like, dressed up with, like, a shirt that says, like, we are all human, and he's kind of, like, in some raver pants or whatever.
Isn't that, like, something that Chris Judge actually owns? Like, the new voice of Kratos? Because I think he wears that we are all human shirt, like, every time he's made a public appearance.
I totally missed that. That makes a lot more sense now. So... Kratos is wearing the picture of Kratos that this guy made he's wearing that. People were like, ew, that's gross, gay people, whatever. David Jaffe was like, I'm gonna troll these like homophobes and just say like, oh yeah, Kratos is bi. And then when people are like, oh, he is bi, he's like, oh, you guys couldn't tell I was trolling? Blah, in your face. He's not actually gay. He's straight.
Yeah.
Oh my
Which,
god.
Like, it's like the definition of queer baiting, you know what I mean? Which is really annoying.
Yeah.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
To me, the part that was really bad was that when people started to be like, hey, you should not do things like this. This is not cool. He decided to fight in the comments, very much like our other friend, Mr. Randy Pitchford, and started saying things like, Well, I have friends who are gay, and they thought it was fine. Like,
my guy,
that's not an excuse you can make, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. I didn't realize that your gay friends spoke for the entire gay community, and also they probably weren't okay with it, but they were like thinking you wouldn't post it on social media, and like, oh, you're fine. What that means, Jaffe, is that they value your fucking friendship over your fucking homophobia, like, or like queer baiting, and it's a whole can of worms. I also liked how he fucking like I don't know if it's just like he did this on purpose because he was trolling or whatever, or if like he just doesn't know how to spell bisexual. But he did like he said bi and then like did a hyphen sexual. Like, who?
Tyler, he was a raging bisexual until he settled down with his wife.
Okay? That's
I didn't realize you just
sexual to you.
It's
yes. I did not know that bi-sexuality just turns off when you marry a woman, but now I know, and I'll keep that in mind forever.
That's what the hyphen exists, so you can just drop the bi, and you're finally just sexual. You know,
is that what way. It is? You eventually just kind of like you glow up, and then you drop it, and you're like, I'm
just sexual now. Yeah, you know,
as well you should be, Kratos. As well you should be.
Yeah, it's like true fluidity, you know. Even though bisexual is being like sexually fluid, this is like hypersexual is like truly fluid because you can just turn all the gay off.
I feel like the worst part too is that he at one point I feel like, correct me if I made this up, but I believe at one point he made a joke that was like, oh, ha ha ha, my friends at Ubisoft said that the only thing harder than animating a woman is a bisexual person.
Yeah, he did. That was like his follow-up tweet to...
Oh!
Yeah, it was... Yeah. It's just like, whatever, dude. Like, your old hat, Corey Barlog has Kratos in his hands now. If Kratos is gay, great. I'm here for it. I don't care. Whatever. He could be asexual, even though it's not true, because... I guess you could still have asexual when you have sex. But whatever, he has a child. He had a wife. He clearly was, like, romantically involved and interested. So, like...
It just seems super lame. Like, I don't know. This whole thing, it doesn't seem like he's trying... Like, I honestly believe that David Jaffe is trying to do the best thing that he can with his limited understanding of everything. But it's, like, not cool. Like, it's just not great. You can't just go around being like, oh, this character I created, totally gay. And then when people are like, oh, cool, then you can't just pull it back and be like, haha, just kidding, guys. He's not actually gay. Like, that's completely ridiculous and lame. And, like, it's 2019. It's 2019. Like, how could you think this? Like,
yeah. Well, clearly it shows. I mean, Olivia, you linked his, like, Twitch channel in our Discord, and like I looked at it for a hot second because I was like, what the hell's going on? And like his videos are weird. It's like sex doll plus E3 or something stupid, and then like his other video that I watched, the only one that I watched was 8 minutes long because the sex doll one was 4 hours long, and I was like, I don't have time for this.
4 hours.
He runs like a fucking talk show or something, right? Like that's his whole thing.
My god,
yeah, something. But he was talking about he had this thing on where it was like why game developers are losing their jobs or something. And basically he started off by saying, well, you know, people are saying, well, robots are going to replace you, or robots are coming for our jobs. And like, well, you know, creatives, art types are like, well, robots can never create art, so creative roles or creative jobs are secure. But then he's like, but no, you silly babies, you bobbies, because there's... He didn't say that, but like that's how he fucking sounded. Was the anyway? He pointed out to like two different AIs, one that could make art. Like it was the
This all sounds completely ridiculous. And David Jaffe, just please stop gay baiting. Please stop queer baiting.
He had some super Alex Jonesy vibe to him, and I was like, dude, you are like propaganda or something. It was dumb. It was really dumb because he like I said, he pointed out to two different algorithms, AIs, that like one could create little anime girls, and then the other one was it could fucking like automated text writing, and he was like blown away by it.
The Google Stadia, the technology about bit mapping things.
I was just like, okay.
It's just such a bummer,
Yeah.
because I'll never get to play Drawn to Death, and I've really wanted to play Drawn to Death for free. Like, I just want to know that game, and it's dead now.
Yeah.
He probably has some servers hidden somewhere. I hope he can help us with his Drawn to Death fan server. Please, David Jaffe, reach out. I want to play the game.
This whole thing made me really shocked that Randy Pitchford does not have a magic show on Twitch, where he just does magic, because that was what he subjected us all to during the PAX East announcement. But
did you check sex sites or anything?
Does he and Randy Pitchford run a circle or something?
No, I'm just I feel like they are cut from the same cloth, so it surprises me that Randy P has not leveled up into a 4-hour sex dolls and E3 Twitch account.
Yeah.
And magic! And porn. Alright.
Shame.
Well, I'm under the shame. I'm under the impression that probably next time we gather following E3, we may have some more people to add to the shame bucket. Because that seems like that's always how E3 tends to go.
I fucking hope
but
not.
at least we know.
I hope not. Please,
I
stop
mean-
shaming. Stop making yourself be shamed.
It's not hard. Just shut up. Don't say anything.
Yeah, I think that is the answer. Is just stop talking.
Never communicate in any form, written or verbal. I can't even verbalize what I'm trying to say. But no more communication.
Yes. So
I feel like they have other than fucking their personal blogs. Sorry, I keep going on about this because it's just stupid.
No, I want to know where you're going with it.
I was just gonna say Jaffe might be a little different than Randy Pitchford, but with Randy Pitchford, why would he ever open his mouth when he has a fucking PR firm or someone on the social media site to do it for him?
Does he? Because
why?
they're not stopping him now.
Right.
They should have stopped him 6 months ago, but
Right.
Dude, people eat that
Yeah.
shit up though. I think that's why that's part of his brand is that
Probably.
he speaks the truth, you know what I mean? He speaks directly to his audience and how could you fuck me like this? I think that's his appeal. That's why people like him.
Very
I'm not saying it's right.
very virtue signaling.
I guess. I don't know. I just feel like that's some people are really into that outspoken person and I just don't get it. Sorry.
yeah. I'm gonna rename the Wall of Shame section literally to just "How could you fuck me like this?" video game, because that's really how I feel every time we get done talking about how
I'm
somebody
gonna commission someone to make us
shitty
a
on
fucking
Twitter.
song now called "How Could You Fuck Me Like This." So expect that
No,
next time.
we need a computer. What we need to do.
Get out of here, David Jaffe! I'm done with you. I'm not watching your stream anymore.
We need to make a soundboard or an AI that can fucking view every piece of audio recording that they've ever done and augment their voices, and then we can just type in their fucking voices as their tweets saying their tweets, and that will be
How do I unsubscribe from David
What?
Jaffe's
Their voice.
Twitch? He just keeps talking. I don't know what to do.
Anyway.
Wait, what was the name of that text-to-speech app that they love on Important If True? I can't remember what it's called, but when you started talking about that, I was thinking in my head of having that thing read the "How could you fuck me like this?"
It's not Dr. Oh, no, it's not Dr.
It's Dr. something.
It's Dr. Gaspaccio or something?
No, Dr. Spazio, right?
Dr. Spazio. I was kind of close.
Don't send in a correction.
Dr. Spazio? Whatever.
I don't know.
Yes.
Dr. Robot, read me lines from Randy Pitchford's Twitter, please. Thank you. Alright, so into the bin of shame you go. So this week is the week before E3. This cast is obviously going to go up the Sunday of E3, which is technically day 2, I guess. Anyway, don't think about it too hard. We have been blessed for the fact that E3 just starts kind of whenever now, and people just try to, leak shit and have things going on. Anyway, since we last spoke, Death Stranding got a 8-minute long trailer. Somebody said to Hideo Kojima, "Hey, do you know that trailers are generally a minute or 2 minutes long?" And he said, "Hold my beer." We got 8 whole minutes.
Can I ask, did you guys think okay, this is where it ends? They did the character intros
Yes.
and now it's gonna end, and then it just
Yes.
kept going. They were oh, here's a whole other plot
kept
line.
going.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then they were like, "Wait, Troy Baker has to have a line in here. Hang on."
He takes the mask off and he has a second mask underneath it, but he can lick through that mask.
That was glorious.
It's horrible.
Well, I think
Played it like a damn fiddle.
I know. It's weird.
Oh, man.
I'm down for it. It looks bad, but I also kind of think it looks great.
Okay.
I mean, I'm here.
I want to hear what you guys think this game's about. What is the story of Death Stranding?
So for what I know is the truth is that there's America has somehow fallen to supernatural terrorists, and now there's a wall around it, and babies allow you to time travel somehow, and there's also supernatural stuff, and Mads Mikkelsen is there.
Is Mads like a villain?
You're
welcome.
welcome.
I wasn't 100% sure based on what had happened like in the trailer.
Well, if like you look at early promotional shit, Mads is totally the villain. But then you see this trailer and you're like, oh no, he's just like a scientist guy who like may or may not be lost to time or something. He died, clearly.
Yeah, like I wonder if he was turned or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he has like, first, like what you were saying, he's like, I'm a scientist, and then he's like, I have a fucking skeleton army, bitch! And then that's a whole plot line.
So, right. I think this game, and this is just like my off the top of my brain, take is, you're a courier service guy, and you're given a baby to transport across America, and you just have to avoid ghosts, and this baby can help you avoid those ghosts.
Seems like the baby
that's a very genuine.
Because he was saying like, oh, I got a good connection to the other side, and like the baby is like your connection.
The baby is the connection.
Yeah, it can help you scan for ghosts, is what I kept thinking.
I'm getting a very like Fullmetal Alchemist. They're close to the gate vibe, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because they say that like children are supposed to be particularly susceptible to like supernatural forces. Yeah, because like what you're saying, they're supposed to be still very close to the other side, quote unquote. But then there was also like a bunch of speculation in those Death Stranding like crazy subreddit shit that I just love reading in my free time. Where it was like the baby is a clone of Norman Reedus, and like the baby is how you can like keep going if you die, and Norman Reedus and the funky fetus. I don't know. I could get down with that. Actually.
Yeah. I'm here for it. I'm excited to see what it's going to be like. I know that the trailer kind of underplayed how like very open world this game is going to be, but I'm really excited to go explore this world, and I'm also very excited to smack people around with a briefcase.
Yeah, was that the worst combat sequence you've ever seen in your life? Because it was a lot of really goofy jumping and AI not hitting you, and then you hit someone with a briefcase.
Yes.
Are you guys a Heartman, a Hardman, a Fragile? Who do you stand from this? Are you a dead man?
I'm sorry, they gave someone the name Die Hard Man, so obviously
it's a pretty good name. Pretty terrible name.
It's a pretty good name. It's a pretty terrible name, but it's pretty good. And he has like a skull face. Hell
yeah. Yeah. I love that skull face. That was badass. I was like, oh fuck yeah, gold skull face. But all the women were like, the quiet, the silent, the timid, the fragile, the mama.
I have like very low expectations for all of like the writing he does for women. So
I'm pretty sure they're just gonna be there and like look pretty, like look amazing, like everything is amazing. But then like 5 seconds later, they're gone and didn't do anything. So I think this is kind of what came out around the fact that they have Lindsay Wagner in, and they like digitally de-aged her, but no one else, just her. Like she had to be young and pretty still, even though she's older and still pretty. Yep. I don't know. It kind of goes back to the like women are not allowed to age and they're only pretty when they're young, and she can only breathe through her skin, so she has to wear a bikini at all times. She can't talk. She's a perfect girlfriend.
Yikes. But don't worry, anyway, they're gonna justify why they had to de-age her in the story. You'll see why she has to breathe through the bikini. Like, you'll know. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Is it nanomachines?
You got it. I can't believe it. You've already figured it out. I have to kill you now. We can never release this podcast.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I do. I didn't
sign an NDA.
I do feel like this is Metal Gear Solid 6, though. Like, this is absolutely...
That's what people keep saying, but I can't make that connection because I haven't played it, so I can't make
Metal Gear Solid 6, The Phantom Ladder. I'm really excited for it.
That was a fucking awesome ladder, dude.
That telescope ladder, it just went forever.
Yeah.
I bet you anything it could go like to the fucking moon.
The structural integrity on that is insane.
Yeah. It's a pretty looking game. Like they're using the engine from, God, what is it? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, Horizon. Yeah.
So that's really cool. Yeah. I'm excited that I really liked Horizon. I thought Horizon looked amazing. So I'm hoping this game will kind of reach those same highs. Hopefully.
Yes.
I'm gonna buy it. I don't even care. I'm gonna buy it. The thought even crossed my mind. Do I want to spend $200 on the baby? Because a part of me was like,
wait, is it $200? I thought it was $100. Did you say 200?
Oh no, it is $200 for the baby. It is a scale replica of the baby.
I know someone
and it lights up
who bought the fucking baby, and I'll be sure to get pictures and have them forwarded to you guys because.
Well, I definitely want to. This might be the first game where I'm like collector, or not the first game, but a game in a long time where I'm like collector's edition, please, $100. Here you go.
For the baby? What are you gonna do with the baby? Where is it gonna go? Are you gonna put it by your bedside? Because it would freak me out.
Listen. I will give it to Solaire, and Solaire will protect the baby. My Solaire amiibo.
Okay, I guess I can justify it.
Bloodborne 2, everybody. Solaire protects a baby. I think that's how that works.
Solaire's wet nurse.
No, this is so bad. Oh, I'm gonna buy Death Stranding and I'm gonna hate it and I'm gonna love it. Okay, so that was the only actual real game that we got. Although we've had a couple of leaks, because I guess Ubisoft can never seem to keep a lid on all the games that they have to show for whatever reason.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So Watch Dogs Legion leak. Tyler, I know that you were following this. It's post-Brexit London, correct?
Yeah, it's Watch Dogs 3, again, reportedly is going to be in London, and it's post-Brexit, which is weird, and you're able to play as any NPC. There's no, I don't know if there's going to be a main character, or if you're just a fucking NPC, and, you're just the data technology hacker, shit, and you just jump from person to person. I don't know. It's really weird.
See, boy, mate, you got me them NPCs, I could fuck with that. Those limey-wimey technologies.
I'll fuck you up, I swear on me, mum.
I will say though, if they're gonna go that route, if they're gonna go, you're more of a hacker. I'm for it, because the first game, when they first did a reveal or teaser for it, it was totally there are no guns. It's you as a person interacting with the world through technology because you're a hacker and you hack into things. And then they released the game,
you wear
and it was
trench coat.
No, here's a gun, bang bang, and it's just okay.
I really hope.
Yeah.
Are you guys?
First game.
Are you guys worried that the tones of this game, the tone of this game is going to be kind of more grimdark, like the first Watch Dogs? That's what I kind of feel like. That first game had I liked the idea of it, and I was playing. I'm like, man, this just sucks. The story is there's nothing there. The tone is awful.
It was so edgy. Yeah.
And then 2 was very positive 90s cult. It was a 90s hackers film. It was literally taking the tone of hackers and then transporting it to the 2010s, and I really liked that. So I'm hoping they continue that. I pray.
It does feel very precarious, but the one thing that at first I was you could play as any NPC, but then I started thinking about Observation, which is that Devolver Digital game that just came out 2 weeks ago, in which you play as a computer. So you play as an AI, and the main character who you follow around gives you commands, and you are literally just moving a robot around, changing camera views, interacting with ship systems, and that's the whole plot, is you are the computer, and you take information and then commands and give back. And that was really fascinating, and I had never thought about playing a game as an AI before, and so, obviously, you're gonna have to be a guy, probably in a basement somewhere or whatever, but, the concept of it being, you are a computer program, or you are a virus, or you are just all of CCTV as some kind of weird We Are Legion hive mind. I could get down with that. That would be really cool. That's probably not what they're gonna do, but I can still dream.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, in England too, I think with the stricter gun laws, that'll be kind of an excuse to not have a lot of guns, so we can get away from the kind of intense gunplay.
That's what you think.
I would hope.
This is post-Brexit, baby. Anything can happen.
It's Far Cry out there. It's fucking Mad Max on the island. We're not political. It's not political. Don't even say it's political.
It's apolitical. Nope.
Oh, I almost want to sit down and make a bingo card just for the announcement of this game, because I bet $150 bazillion that someone's going to be like, at some point in this launch cycle, we're not trying to make a political statement.
Probably.
So this is on the topic of another game that got leaked. This is a problem that I have with Call of Duty. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare got leaked because when we reboot a series, we just name it the first game, obviously, as one does. And I don't know if either of you watched the trailer, but I'm struggling with this idea of, like, war is bad and you should feel bad, but also it's fucking baller. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kill streak.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much Call of Duty
I feel like
did you guys play growing up? Like, or even in the last couple of years?
0. I really wanted to play Call of Duty Black Ops 4 though, because there was one guy that I thought was really hot, and that was like literally my whole. I'm sorry. I'm like that guy. I'm really sorry.
Because
my first Call of Duty game was Modern Warfare.
Okay. Because
and I have
the
original Modern Warfare, and then I think I did Call of Duty 2. I don't remember the sequence in which they came, but I've only played 2 Call of Duty games, and I was like, not for me. And then I never touched them again, because what did they do? That was different.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I just remember, like, when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 came out, I was, like, really deeply into it. Like, I bought my friend convinced me to buy an Xbox specifically for that game, and we played together all the time, and I picked up, like, the next 6 Call of Duty games, and I was, like, kind of ride or die there for a minute. And I think they get progressively more like, oh, war is bad, man. Like, look at this. Like, no Russian, dog. Like, kind of just doing these really, like, shock jock kind of scenes where it's like, oh, all these things have a cost. And that was kind of like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 reveal with the nuclear bomb. But they never really felt super impactful for me. And then that's how we get these, like, stupid memes, like the, press F to pay respects. Where it tries to...
Oh, God.
Yeah, like...
And they put Kevin Spacey in it.
Yeah, and they try to have these, like, really, like, impactful moments that don't really hit because they immediately, like, the change in tone is like a whiplash where it's like, oh shit, nuclear bomb, oh man, we gotta go kill him, throw your fucking knife, shoot a person, and it just gets really, like, frenetic in terms of the energy that it's bringing to all of this. And I don't think this game has any more promise. Like, from the very limited marketing materials that we've seen, it seems like it's kind of just following in those steps, but trying to maybe make it a little more like, oh shit, war, dude. Like, it doesn't seem like it's over the top like Black Ops. Like, there were no zombies involved in the trailer. So I guess that's a step up. I don't know.
I feel like, and now what frustrates me is I cannot think of the name of this game, so you can name that game for me. There was a game that was out last gen, and it was the game that everybody cites when
Spec Ops:
like,
The Line.
Whoa, thank you. We have not been able to get past that.
I knew it.
But that's the thing, is like, I feel like at the time, Spec Ops: The Line was like, and I remember playing it and being like, whoa, dude. And for some reason, that's like where we stopped. Because people still go back to Spec Ops and be like, whoa, dude, except I don't think it holds up that way anymore. And it just feels very bumbling for us to keep being like, war never changes. Or does it? Maybe not. Or does it? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You can't keep having this conversation.
It's just their narrative. They don't have anything to say about war, right? Because everyone knows war is bad, but war is necessary. And it's fun to shoot people.
War is radical for dudes, yeah!
Yeah, shoot the bad people. They're like the brown ones or something. Whatever. And it's just like, okay. I wish that whoever is making, like, a Call of Duty or a war game, a shoot 'em up, that they would try to explore that genre a little more and like, I don't know, because, like, war is fucking, it's awful, and, like, everyone dies, and it affects everybody, no matter what.
Yeah.
And none of them treat it that way. It's just like, and I don't have a problem with Call of Duty, like, being what it is. Like, you can totally have a shooter game that's just for shooting and, like, to have fun, like PUBG or Fortnite or whatever, and that's fine. But, like, when you're a video game about war and you don't actually explore anything of what war means, or, like, the consequences of war, or there's no, like, virtue or morality thing going on, then what's the point? Like,
well,
it's just...
It's really interesting, I think, when we look at, like, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and how that was, like, a multiplayer-only game, which is kind of what I thought the focus of these next games would be. And now they're taking a step back and kind of doing the story-based thing. And I really think that those are two very different modes and two very different beasts in terms of how you would market those games, where it's like, okay, co-op is supposed to be fun. You can put your, like, blunt sticker on your gun. Isn't that neat? And then the story modes have always been tried to be a little more serious. And I kind of thought that we'd get more of a diversion. That may happen, where it's like, okay, we get the, free to play, like, shooter, and then you can buy the campaign every, like, 2 years or whatever. I kind of thought that's where they were going with this. And I feel like that might give them a little more, like, room to navigate the challenges of, making a story that's impactful while still having that, like, marketing engine of, like, we need to sell loot boxes. We need to, like, have a fun multiplayer mode. And I just didn't expect them to go this way, honestly, because I feel like those are two very different goals. Like an artistic one of, like, we're going to tell a story versus, like, blunt stickers, we need an announcer pack with Snoop Dogg. Like, I feel like that combination of both products into one thing is I don't know. I think that's where you get these kind of weird marketing messages from.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I don't know. I don't want to get into the Fallout thing, but, like, all I can think of is I feel like one of the reasons why people always cite Fallout New Vegas as being the game out of the Fallout games is, like, the one, because it's the only one that really deals with, like, war as the concept is, like, that was really shitty, and now there's, like, bigger problems where people have rebuilt. There's, like, all these new factions. There's people who are living and just, like, making lives for themselves, and there's more of a discourse about what's left over, you know what I mean? Versus, like, there was a bomb, and I'm in riot gear, and zombie, and you know what I mean? Which is, I feel like, where the other games have tended to go. So I just think we do war games bad, and we haven't figured it out.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard to make a game about war when there's, like, actual wars happening against brown people around the world, like, specifically by the United States and Afghanistan or other things, where it's like, hey, can we really make light of this? Like, is this more of, like, a marketing tool for the military? Like, I don't know, the whole idea of it really squicks me out.
It does.
It's very radicalization of people, and it's just like, it's either their audience base is like ex-military, military, or like 13-year-olds who like military and haven't watched anything but, like, anything other than the Hurt Locker. Like, I don't know, like it's just dumb.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm sure we'll see more of that, obviously, at E3 next week. I'm looking here at the other stuff that we have listed. I mean, not as much else, just to kind of cover really quickly. So Xbox Game Pass is going to be for PC games too. They just kind of
one thing
that.
that's
I'm sure
unclear.
That's going to be covered at E3.
I want an answer to is if it's going to be one subscription service or if they're going to have, like, a subscription service specifically for PCs and then another one for Xbox. So that's just one of my things.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's all one thing and they're not going to, like,
hope it's all one thing.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I do too. And I know that they're doing more for crossplay, and, like, there's a lot of, like, hey, the game that you play on your Xbox One, you can pick up and play on your PC. So I could see why they would keep them separate, but at the same time, I don't think people are going to pay separately. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't think the market can bear that. So we'll see. Let's see. Apple TV, you can now use your PS4 and Xbox One controllers. I know we're all big Apple TV fans here.
Yeah.
But you sure can do that. There was a Baldur's Gate 3 tease. We know nothing more than a picture, so I know that you were really stoked about this, Tyler.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll get more E3 that's not a picture.
Yes. I imagine it's going to be revealed and it'll be glorious, and I don't know what to expect. Will it be a top-down RPG? Will it be like Pillars of Eternity? Will it be more like the later Baldur Gates, like that went to console, like Baldur Gate Alliance, that was like all 3D Neverwinter Nights style, or like what's gonna happen, or what it's gonna be, or if it's just gonna be like Divinity but Baldur's Gate, which I will also enjoy. Anyway,
yeah, I'm interested to see too, because that's a great team to be behind it. So I think I believe. In terms of what's upcoming, at least in the next couple of days, THQ Nordic has said that they're going to announce 3 games over 3 days. If anybody cares about THQ Nordic after they did that stupid ass AMA.
It's all Darksiders 4, 5, and 6. Who's excited?
Hell yeah!
It's an anthology series.
Yeah, wasn't it originally about the horses of the apocalypse? And somehow we made two about one of the same. Two of them were about war, and then one of them was. And then they just kind of forgot about
Rebecca.
that.
One of them's about war, one of them's about death, and one of them's about not pestilence. One that they just made up. I can't remember what the third one is. So check your facts. All right.
Sorry.
They could announce Kingdom of Amalur.
Herd of the apocalypse.
Right? Like.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. True. Someone, I think either last year or 2 years ago, they did buy the IP. I don't think Kingdoms of Amalur is going to be showing this year, unfortunately. I don't think people can put together, unless the team that was on Kingdoms of Amalur, I think Studio 38, unless they were going to plan for a release of either a next game or an MMO. So unless they were like super far ahead with their MMO and like people could just kind of pick up the pieces and carry on.
There's no way they're going to put an MMO at this point, right?
Like
they're not. But it's going to be a single player game, I would imagine.
That's what I'm saying.
Kingdoms
They
of
have to
Amalur
really like
MMO.
rekindle it. But I would love an MMO Kingdom Amalur because that would be fucking stellar.
I need to play this game with you, Tyler, because I don't understand it. It always looked like a very bad game.
Oh yeah.
And I want to know why you like it so much. I need to know.
Oh, I love it so much.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail the conversation with the Amalur talk.
No, it's okay. That's conjecture.
It could be one of their things, or they could be like, we're getting back into making Nickelodeon games, everybody. Here's 3 new SpongeBobs.
I would accept that too. Please.
Yeah, actually, me too. If they want to remaster Battle for Bikini Bottom, I would be like, fuck yeah. Anyway, tomorrow, which is Wednesday, since it's Tuesday, there is a Pokemon Sun, Moon, and Gun stream. It's coming on at the crack of dawn for us folks on the West Coast, so I'll just let other people tell me what happens. On Thursday, there is a stream about Google Stadium, Studio.
That's it.
Stevia, in which case I believe they are announcing launch specs, pricing, game lineups, and as we know, it's just David Jaffe at a PC building it himself, so cat's out of the bag on that one. And then what leaked today was the new expansion for Destiny. They're having a whole live stream on Thursday about it. Going back to the moon, baby!
There's
no better time like the present to get into Destiny 2.
I was surprised that there was not a moon already within Destiny 2. Because
there was,
it was
the first one.
Well, actually, Tyler, they go to the moon of Jupiter called Titan, and it's an Io. It's very cool. They just don't go to the Earth moon, so there are moons in Destiny.
Yeah,
too,
but the Earth moon
it's
was
just not
amazing
the moon.
because it's the moon. It's our moon, and like I understand you can't really just port over game 1 physics into game or game 1 assets into game 2 assets because they have a fuckery tool game thing that they're using for their game, but I figured it would be there. Now it's there though, I guess. So now the Earth finally has a moon.
Are you guys gonna get into this with me?
Finally, after all of these years.
Are we gonna get back into Destiny?
Now I will pick up this game.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
On my computer, is there crossplay, or do I have to pick it up on PS4?
You have to pick it on PS4 because I bought it on computer and I just can't
do it.
God damn it!
I can't
I'm
do
on
it.
a computer.
It's too much.
Can't you play with the controller on your computer?
Oh, I just don't want to sit at the computer anymore. I'm done with the computer. That's where I work all day. I don't want that thing no more.
Just put.
I feel that too. Though,
okay, that's
totally.
true. That's very true.
That's why I bought an Xbox One, was so I didn't have to stand at my computer.
Just get your comfy chair and push it into your desk and sit there in your comfy chair with the computer, or drag your computer to your TV and then hook it up.
That's the smart play.
No, that's not what I do, but it's what I would do if my boyfriend didn't already do it. So,
all right, are y'all ready to talk about E3 2019 before it happens? From the perspective of people that are not in the game industry.
Okay, cool.
Okay, calm down. We're losing you.
You went into like Crazy Frog there, which is really good. It's right at the end. It was a little ba 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 ba.
It was Crazy Frog or Hamtaro, either one.
Oh, do you remember Hamtaro? Come on and sing the secret.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, E3 2019 from the perspective of some people that are not in the game industry. So the first one I have on my list here is Xbox. I'm looking at my notes from last year, and I gave up counting after they announced 18 games. They announced like 40 games last year. which is quite a lot. A lot of them actually came out. Some of them absolutely did not, but that's okay. At least as far as we know in terms of the E3 briefing, they have announced that they have 14 first-party titles, which would make sense since they bought like 10 studios last year. They also say that they have 3 new IPs to announce. They're definitely showing Halo Infinite gameplay, which would be one of the 14 games. They obviously have the potential to show new hardware. That's kind of the assumption that they're going to show it because Sony is not going to be at E3 this year. There's also rumors of a Fable reboot, which is what I personally would like. Nothing else.
Yes.
And then conversation as well about a new FromSoft game through the work that they've been doing with George R.R. Martin. That's what we've got. What are you all thinking about Xbox? Is this the year of Xbox? Did they win the console war?
Well,
no,
when there's no
they
other
did
competition.
Not. They did not win the Xbox Wars or the console wars.
The great Xbox war of 2019.
They lost the war against themselves. They played themselves so hard.
Okay, so tell me about this, Olivia, because I'm in this, I think Xbox is doing pretty great for themselves. They're like coming out strong.
At this point, at the end of the generation, with like discounted hardware, a subscription service, like they're setting themselves up for next year. I just don't think that they really. I think we all were Xbox 360 players who jumped ship to PS4.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Mm-hmm.
And I was
never an Xbox, but that's. Keep going.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this PS4 and Sony.
Yeah, I just never had a
Who
PS3.
Are they?
And then
what do they do?
What are video games? Who are they? I keep thinking like this is like I keep thinking the phrase like this is a building year. Like every year is a building year, and maybe now we'll actually be able to do it. Like I get the feeling they're gonna like, talk about new hardware, right? Like that must be part of their presentation, or they're gonna like hint at it at the very least. They've already started, kind of.
Well,
what do you guys think?
I mean, so they have the perfect platform right now because stuff already came out about the PS5. So the PS5 kind of beat Xbox to the punch. However, Xbox now has this public stage where Sony is not even there. So it's not going to be like that weird thing where it's like, I have a console, well, so do I, haha, and then you could compare them back and forth. But if they come out and say, hey, look at this console, then it just gives Sony time to be like, oh yeah, well, fucking watch this, and then come out with something and have a whole other review. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a very weird, like, I almost wonder if Sony made a smart choice by not being 83 this year. Just saying. Not really sure.
I mean, if you're
I think... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're a Microsoft and you had the budget, and you were just like, this brand needs to succeed or it's going to die, like, that's kind of how I feel about Xbox. It's like, they've already put so much money into it. There's that rumor that they were going to try to, like, spin it off into a separate company. I don't know how much, like, the Xbox brand name actually aligns with Microsoft's, like, long-term vision of what their company is. So I'm kind of like, this is, like, the do or die moment, I feel like, in terms of, like, what the future of the Xbox is. It's like, it needs to hit, like, this generation or it's done for, in my opinion.
Yeah. See, it had a bad launch last gen. It was just a TV box.
Right.
Bad.
And so I think Microsoft is finally coming around. And I think they're finally, like, giving gamers what they want. But I feel like Microsoft's actually being really smart, and they are finally thinking like long-term versus short-term, and they're not necessarily caring what Sony does anymore, because Sony was pretty much their only competitor. Nintendo was like... I mean, everyone's their competitor, but Sony was like their rival. And now the two are starting to become more like beneficial friends, and Microsoft is playing like the long game, because they have... I think what they're going to talk about at the Microsoft in terms of technology for sure is going to be their server cloud saving with Sony, and like clarify exactly what that means and what that does, and like how that will affect you and future pricing or whatever for gamers. I think that's what they're going to do in the absence of Sony. And they may like announce like, hey, our new console is called Phoenix X-Bone X or something stupid. And,
Project Scorpio.
Yeah, right, exactly. And like will just be announced like, oh, they have another console, surprise, surprise, and like we won't see it until next year. I don't know what else they could do. Maybe they'll go into controllers. Look at these awesome controllers, guys. Although that would be pretty cool if they were like, hey, here's how we were addressing the disabled or disabled gamers, and like this is what we're doing. I forget what the project was for that, but it'd be neat for them to do something like that. Like, hey, we love everyone as a gamer, and this is what we're doing to accommodate everyone for gaming. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Do you guys think there's going to be any like action on the using like the Xbox platform as like kind of your back end for developers? So like you could use an Xbox ID on like a Nintendo Switch. Like there are a couple games that support that, but I'm kind of imagining more like, would the Xbox Live like profile show up on, a PS4, for example? Like, do you think there's any future in that?
It's possible.
Are you saying
it does seem like
yeah, for crossplay and for like, save transfers, whatever. Like I feel like Epic with Dauntless was kind of doing that, where they're providing the back end for Dauntless, at least as far as I'm aware.
Maybe.
Sure.
So
I feel like it might be more like if I'm on a PS4 and you are on Xbox, it'll probably say Xbox user Olivia, whatever your name was, probably, or your name would be green. I don't know, because I feel like because I just know. I don't know, but rumors and things of reading up on Sony and how they use their username is like your battle tag or whatever. Your gamer tag is you, and like how they go about processing that bullshit is like super complicated, and like you have to have your own PS4 account in order to like play on the PS4. So I don't know how like that crossplay shit.
I'm not saying it's going to be like the Xbox Live tag will replace it, but I want to see. I kind of get like this. The idea that I'm trying to convey is that Microsoft has been really forward with this idea that like, hey, we're partners with everyone. Like even our enemies are our partners now. Like they just signed that deal with Sony for providing like rack space, and I'm kind of wondering like if Microsoft will eventually make that push to be like, all right, we're gonna put our games out on like PS4. We're gonna like put our services on PS4. I kind of wonder if that would ever happen. Like, could you get xCloud on a PS4 or whatever the next PlayStation
I could
is?
see it.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if they want to stay alive, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I hate to use I hate comparing Xbox and PS4 because it always feels very reductive and gamery. And I also hate what I'm about ready to compare them to. But I always get the sense of the Marvel versus DC cinematic universe stuff, where it's like two very similar organizations trying to make kind of the same content to a very similar audience, right? And so you have one, which is Marvel, which is like a very highly controlled experience. Like there's like a lot of shit that goes into it. There's a lot of like the people stay the same for forever, and there's like 18 million different phases, and there's like, that's kind of how it feels like when Sony comes out with all these first party games and on and on and on. And then you have the DC universe, which is like, I don't know, there's people that kind of come in and out, and all of the stuff has sort of different tones, and so you can kind of bounce back and forth between like, this movie's really good and this movie's really bad. And I don't know, that's such a bad, I'm really sorry I had to make that comparison right then, but that's like all I can think of is Xbox feels like it hasn't gotten into the stride of hitting every single thing. And not saying that Sony hits everything, like I think Days Gone was kind of bad, but I feel like they have more hits than they have misses, and sometimes it feels like Xbox has more misses than they have hits. And so I think, I don't know, it does kind of feel like a Hail Mary in the sense of like, hey guys, you can get Crackdown 3 on Switch now, isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Buy Game Pass. Use Game Pass. You can get it anywhere. Hooray! You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that widening their market is the only way that they, I don't want to say the only way, but it feels like the way that they could get.
Well, and I
could keep the brand alive.
I think that angle would also play to their strengths. Like, hey, Microsoft is a service provider. You know what I mean? Like, that's their whole, like, we're a like, their thing is, like, we're a corporate service provider, but also we have this gaming service that could be a service provider if we offer it. You know, like, it's a subscription service now. So.
Yeah. And it makes more sense if going into the next generation, if it becomes about companies specializing in the thing that they're good at. You know what I mean? Like, Sony's services suck ass. Like, they just are terrible. Like, just awful. I'm really sorry, Sony, but they're terrible. But then you have something like Microsoft that's, like, figured out a lot of the crossplay stuff, and a lot of it just kind of works, and their subscriptions are pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know what I mean?
Right.
That would be nice to have, and just kind of let people... be good at the thing that they're good at instead of trying to do everything.
Totally.
Bad.
Well, and I'm kind of hoping that, like, I've been playing more on my Xbox recently, like with Sea of Thieves and stuff like that, than I have my PS4, and I'm like, I think this is like I like this controller. It's like a pretty good piece of hardware. So I kind of don't think that we'll at least get one more box and then we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of my perspective on it.
Yeah.
Like, this could be the last Xbox.
Yeah, I agree. Although, I don't know. I'm interested to see what their first party titles look like, because I think that could save it. But I think as long as it's like, it's on Xbox and PC, I think that's the problem. Like, the reason why people buy Sony boxes is because you can't get that anywhere else except for on the PlayStation, right? And so if you can be like, well, I can just play this on my laptop, I don't need an Xbox.
Like,
yeah,
that's not really good for the future of Xbox.
Yeah, but I think they kind of view themselves as like, well, that's still Xbox because you'll log in through your Xbox Live like account. You know what I mean? You'll use our services. You'll pay for Game Pass.
Right.
Like, I think that's kind of their perspective on it.
Yeah, it's Xbox without a physical box.
We're taking Xbox anyway. It's an ephemeral brand now. Welcome to the future.
It might be their step towards like having like
Xbox
Apple
Stadia.
box. But it's like, yeah, exactly. Like you'll get this little box that's $100 and you'll hook it up to your TV and then you'll pay for the service, and like then you'll have a cloud, a cloud thing of all your games, and they won't do discs anymore or something, or I don't know.
I mean, that's literally what xCloud is, right? Like, that was their pitch for xCloud, so...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I think that's where kind of everyone's kind of, or trying to go. Sony, not so much, because PS Now sucks, but who knows?
Oh, it's so bad.
Maybe
once they partner with
now...
with Xbox, it won't suck.
Yeah, exactly. So, who knows? What else?
Yeah. I'm really pumped for a Fable reboot. I flippin' loved the Fable series. I even love Fable 3, the one that everyone hated.
I never finished it. But I love Fable 1, and I think, and Fable 2 has been a long time ago, so I don't really remember it, but I remember it being good.
I would be really interested to see how that game would hold up now, because I think at the time it felt very novel, and now its systems are so backwards that they would really have to reinvent it from the ground up.
Yeah.
So I would be curious to see what that would turn into, but also I just really like Fable, so I just love the demon doors. I just want demon doors in games.
Would you want it to have that same kind of like British humor?
Yes, absolutely. That weird, like, lion's head stuff. Yeah, it was like, I don't know, I thought it was entertaining.
No, totally.
Maybe it didn't have wide appeal.
I don't think, I was just kind of thinking, like, okay, what are the contemporaries of that game? Like a Dragon Age or like a Skyrim or something? And I'm like, okay, if they just made a Skyrim, it would not be the same.
Yeah, it would be tough for them to walk the, and like, I don't know, because it was never really open world, you know what I mean? Like, it was a lot of hub instances, but then, like, Fable 3 did a really interesting thing with its pause menu, which was like an actual physical location that you would go to. And instead of scrolling through menus like, oh, I'm going to change my character's outfit, I'm going to go to my menu, my inventory, you would walk into like a closet and you would physically change clothes and like put stuff on mannequins. And then, oh, I want to go look at my money. I'm going to go walk into another room and just see how much money I have piled up. It was like really awesome. And I've never seen another game do that. And so I feel like even at the time it was doing stuff that was awesome and like really interesting. And so it would be kind of sad for it to just be like, it's just like Skyrim.
Yeah.
But without guns. I guess there are guns, and so it's Skyrim with guns. So
Skyrim with guns and a little bit of Zelda. Yay.
Perfect. So we'll see. That's just a rumor. That could not be true. I know that there's also the rumor about the FromSoft George R.R. Martin game.
What do you think that's going to be? I think, okay, I want to hear what you think is going to be, Rebecca, but I'll go first since I am excited for this announcement. I think it's going to be nautical themed. So it's going to be you on a boat going through the ocean and bullshit, and like you're sailing.
You and Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah, exactly. And who knows? I don't know, but that's because I was reading like it's not like a press release, but like George R. Martin was talking about it, and they were like, he's just consulting like on the game, like world building, so like who knows what it would mean, but there was like some allusion to like traveling and like also water or something, so I was like, I think it's gonna be something with the ocean, or like you're a sailor or something, but who knows.
Yeah, that's possible. I was hearing that it was just open world with horseback riding.
I heard the horse thing, but I don't know I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, is it going to be like another what's that one where you're killing the giants and you're a boy on the horse?
Oh, you're thinking of God, I just lost it.
Literally, you talked about it like last time.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be like fucking Shadow of the Colossus, I don't know if I want it, but also, who knows? I'm just excited for anything from Soft. I always eat up. So
I would be interested to see them do more of a high fantasy epic, because I know that was like Miyazaki's
Dark Souls.
Well, not necessarily, but like I think to me the thing that I always really thought was interesting about Dark Souls was that, you know, Miyazaki was someone who really liked Western fantasy novels, but he didn't, like, his reading level of English was not good enough when he was reading novels to like 100% understand the plot. And so there was a lot of conjecture about how the original Dark Souls was designed from the perspective of someone who like only kind of understood bits and pieces of a fantasy novel and had to kind of draw conclusions to understand what was really going on. And so that's why you see like lore bits that are like kind of not really connected and just kind of scattered all around, and there's a lot of opportunity to sort of draw your conclusions about what's going on in the world and how people are related. And it allows you to be a part of the world building too, because it's not really giving it all to you, I guess. Right. And I think George R.R. Martin is someone who's really very talented at world building. I think that was always what was very good, I guess, about the Game of Thrones series. Like, I think that's what drew a lot of people to it, was that it felt very alive. And so I think, you know, the perspective of someone leading a team who really loves fantasy epics and is very thoughtful about world building and is very thoughtful of and purposeful about the information that is given, plus someone who is, even if he's just consulting, like someone who is fucking amazing at world, you know what I mean? Like, right. To have a very high fantasy open world epic, but done in the style of kind of a weird, stuff doesn't quite match up. I don't know. I would like to see it take on more of a Morrowind type vibe, where it's like you can fundamentally break the storyline if you just are careless. Because I felt like that had a lot of weight to it, and I don't really feel like we make games like that anymore. Games don't feel as dangerous, I think, as Morrowind did back then. So, Anyway, that's all to say. I want George R.R. Martin and From Software to remake Morrowind for me. Thank you. Good night.
I'm here for it.
Alright, Xbox. It's time for bed. Because Bethesda's coming up, and last year we had to sit through fucking Andrew WK, and that was weird as shit. So Bethesda is doing another showcase again this year. Todd Howard has come out and said that there will be no Starfield or TES 6, which makes sense because I think it's pretty obvious that those are on next-gen consoles anyway, and since this is another one of those weird limbo years, it makes sense we wouldn't talk about that. I believe Wolfenstein and Doom Eternal, so Wolfenstein Youngblood, and then Wolfenstein whatever the VR thing was, and Doom Eternal are going to show this year. Those are the games that they have announced that have not come out. I imagine there's potential for Rage 2 stuff if people still care about Rage 2. Maybe Fallout 76 if people still care about Fallout 76. I don't know for TES Online because they just came out with a new expansion for that. Hey, what's the Arcane team doing? I haven't heard from them in a while.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be, so you will hear from Arcane, and you're going to hear from the Evil Within devs. I think this E3 is going to showcase a lot of horror games. Evil Within hasn't been like mentioned or like brought up. It's not rumored. This is like purely my conjecture. But you haven't heard anything from those devs. The game came out 2017. It's been 3 years. The first one came out 2014, so 3 years. Every 3 years they're supposed to make one. This is the third year, and we'll see where that goes. Arcane Studio, they're either going to do a game we've never heard of, so like a new IP being like Arx Fatalis, please, or it could be a continuation of Prey, which I think is the more likely thing. They just released, not just released, but they did release the Prey DLC a while ago, but I feel like that was already like in the works a long time ago, and so they probably have already started working on Prey 2. And who knows if we'll hear more about their other game that now I can't remember. It's Dead or Death something.
Oh, Dishonored?
I'm really bad.
Yes, Dishonored?
Dishonored. Yes. Sorry. And that would be interesting, but I don't know what they're going to do with Dishonored, because they also just released DLC for Dishonored as well. So will this be the next chapter in Dishonored, or
I think the Dishonored storyline is done. Like, I think they did say that.
From what I understood, like, Dishonored and Prey didn't do super great. Like, it seems like they were standing by those games and supporting them, but I didn't think they were, like, blockbusters. Am I misunderstanding that, Rebecca? I think you were kind of following that.
Yeah, and, like, Prey suffered because of the title. Like, as everybody knows, it wasn't the Prey as promised, but, you know, it lost a lot of people because of that. And I think, you know, Dishonored 1 did pretty well, and then I think maybe Dishonored 2 didn't have the same niche appeal that the first one did. I don't know if either of them did poorly. Dishonored's DLC was a standalone, so that was sort of the year that, like, DLC got released as a standalone, like a AA kind of a game.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Lost Legacy for Uncharted, and then we got The Death of the Outsider for Dishonored 2. So I don't know. I think they've said that Corval's storyline is pretty much done. So and I imagine Emily's is as well. So that's probably just like good night. So I would assume that Arcane team could be working on a new IP. I would be interested to see if they did Prey 2. I feel like they could. I think they could. I don't know. The way that game ended, I was kind of like, can we? Maybe we can. But they have to kind of get over the loop of, like, the big reveal does make it difficult to surprise someone again. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
I was looking at The Evil Within because I haven't really played those many games. And I was like, when did this game come out? Do you guys know what the name of The Evil Within is in Japan?
No. What is it?
The Evil
It's
Without.
Psycho Break. Which, like...
I'm sorry, what?
It's Psycho Break. One word, Psycho Break.
Really?
Yeah. It's like so much. I'm having trouble comprehending that name. It's really a lot, so... I just needed to share that.
It sounds like it should have, like, an initial D intro. I'm sorry.
It feels like Bethesda is just kind of like... I don't know. I feel like Bethesda and EA are both kind of in a similar position, in my opinion, where it's like, hey, what are we doing? Like, our two games that we expected to, like, kind of carry us through this season didn't really hit super hard. Like, you know, Fallout 76 was kind of like a huge bummer to a lot of people, the same way that Battlefield 5 was. And it's like, all right, what's on the horizon?
Yeah.
We don't got much. It's kind of like we're...
And
not a lot.
Rage 2 didn't do so well, and there was one more that I don't remember. Blades, I think, came out, right?
I think that's...
Like,
Elder Scrolls Blades was the...
And I think that's still in beta, so it's, like, not technically out, but I haven't really heard anything, like, amazing about it. And, like, what's the other... I kept hearing, like, they would do a new Fallout Shelter. Like, that's rumored to be coming. Like, a Fallout Shelter 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that also is a potential thing.
It does feel very milquetoast. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, why are you having a conference?
Well, it seems like...
What's the point? Especially since he was like, we're not going to show Starfield. Like, that's their next theoretical big, like, but fucking Bethesda game would be Starfield. And they were like, we're not going to show it. Okay, okay.
It seems like Bethesda's kind of moving this, like, like, they're trying to position themselves like a AAA developer, which I think by most accounts they are. But they don't have, like, the studio stable to, like, just keep putting stuff out every year. Like, I felt like last year was pretty lackluster in terms of what they actually had to give. And now this year seems like even worse. But maybe they've got some, like, super cool stuff. Like, Doom Eternal is going to be great, I get the feeling. So...
yeah. And, I mean, Todd Howard is, like, known for coming out and being like, and it's available right now, or it's available in 2 months, and this is the first time you're hearing about it. So there is always that potential of it being like, hey, Arcane has a new game, it's this. It's out in November, goodbye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Has anyone made a Todd Howard simulator game? Because I feel like there's something ripe there. We can make that game, guys. Delete your podcast recordings. We need to start over. My idea is perfect. We need to protect it.
Todd Howard. Yeah, so Bethesda could be really great or really bad. Usually it's both. Who knows? Anyway, Devolver has a big fancy press conference this year. I guess that's what they're calling it. This obviously is that weird, I don't know, Adult Swim, like 30-minute pre-recorded skit show that just is bizarre and involves people getting sucked into computers and dying, and then just kind of like game trailers in the back. They have not come out and made any official announcements about what they're going to show, which is fine, I guess. They have announced a bunch of games that have not released yet, such as like Metal Wolf Chaos got announced last year. Sayonara Wild Hearts has been shown at games events but has not released. Sometimes Always Monsters, My Friend Pedro with the banana stuff, the Talos Principal Dose. I mean, they keep, like, Devolver keeps spitting out games that I don't even know about until right before they come out. Like, Observation was one that was just like, oh, Devolver did this? Oh, okay, sure. So, I don't know. I feel like it could be anything for them. It literally could be anything.
Yeah, I'm always
I like them.
Interested to see what Devolver does. They're more indie game focused, so it's more kind of like interesting because it's usually things you haven't heard of yet. I'm imagining they're going to talk about, what is it? Wolf Command, the other FromSoft game that was announced a while back.
Metal Wolf Chaos.
Like an RTS. Metal Wolf Chaos, thank you. I'm very bad at video games names today, so there's just so much information. But anyway, I must imagine they'll talk about that. And then who knows? Will we get another like Hotline Miami? Because it has been 2 years since the last one, or something from that dev team. So
yeah, they do have quite a bit of. Like, they have quite a bit of teams that they publish for.
They do.
To the point where, like, I don't even know if I could keep track of them all.
Well, it's just like the PC game show. They have a butt ton of people who come on the stage, and they have, like, a minute, and then it's like, okay, on to the next. And, like, you know, they're there for 120 minutes or something. It's a lot. That's a lot to take in.
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose it's worth also mentioning the PC Gaming Show as well, because they've confirmed that Annapurna Interactive is going to show there, which to me is like, ooh, they are putting out really quality stuff right now, along with Devolver. Chucklefish, so the publishing team behind Stardew Valley, has a showing at the PC Gaming Show. There's a whole bunch. Relogic, Modus, Digital Uppercut. Like, Ooblets was shown last year.
Oh, man.
They show, like, 2 seconds of most
when
things.
When is Ooblets coming out?
Yeah,
I've wanted Ooblets for so long. I can't live anymore without Ooblets.
It's coming.
Are you on the mailing list?
Yeah.
Have you guys signed up for the mailing list?
I am.
And did you get that email about how maybe they're going to do an alpha?
Oh, God.
It's gonna be a minute.
I gotta sign up for a mailing list.
I'm sorry.
I gotta be right back. I gotta go sign up.
It's gonna be a minute. What I think is interesting is I'm looking at my notes from last year's PC Gaming Show, and a lot of the games that were announced have not come out.
What were
like
what were some of the
them.
games that were announced?
Okay, so Neo Cab, do you remember that one? That's the one where you're like the last cab driver in a
Is
city
that not
full
out
of
yet?
robots.
I thought that came out like 5 years ago.
That's not out. The Sinking City got pushed back, and it's coming out this month. That was announced last year.
Yes.
The Forgotten City is not the same game. It's a completely different game. I'm firing game namers, as everyone is aware. That was a mod, I want to say, for Myst or something that's getting turned into a full release. Anyway, I haven't heard about that for a minute. Morning Star, which I think is about gardening in space. That is nothing about that. Night Call, I don't think is out. Sable, they're talking about it, but it doesn't have a release date.
Yeah, it doesn't have a release date. Might see more of it this year. Who knows?
Yeah, so Ooblets, obviously. I don't know if Noita came out or not. Overkill, the Walking Dead game, did come out and it was bad. Don't Starve Hamlet is in beta, I think. Hunt Showdown has been in beta for like 6,000 years and still has not actually gone full release. Satisfactory did come out, but I think it's in beta. Biomutant, do I have that on?
Biomutant, Cloudpunk, The Last Night. I'm just looking at all the games that I have on my wish list that haven't come out yet.
Oh yeah, a lot of those. So like The Last Night was an Xbox last year. So yeah. Wait, if I flip back to Xbox, hang on.
Did you mention Tunic?
Tunic was shown for Xbox, I think, because like Outer Wilds was shown there.
Yeah.
After Party, Below. Planet Alpha, Sable, Harold Halibut, Ashen. Ashen did come out, though. So did Outer Wilds. So did Below. Anyway. Yeah, Tunic was shown at Xbox last year. The only thing I have listed for it is it's adorable. So, good for me, 2018, Rebecca.
Accurate.
Oh, we forgot to talk about the Gears Pop game, which I'm sure is going to sweep E3.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot Gears of War.
Yep.
Or is this Gears different?
5.
Is there a Gears 5?
Well, it's Gears of War 5.
That was announced, for sure. I'm just trying to remember it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, well,
there's the Gears 5.
There was the Gears 5, and then there was the Gears Funko Pop mobile experience or something.
The more important,
right?
Of
course.
Franchise,
Clearly,
obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would be interested to see if any of the games from last year's Devolver Show and PC Gaming show up again this year, just to be like, we're still working on it. Or if we'll get a whole new list of games to put on our Steam wish list and then check back in 2020. I don't know. But a lot of really good stuff. Devolver's doing really good shit. Obviously, Annapurna's doing good stuff. Chucklefish, I know, has a game about, like, a school for witches that's like a Stardew Valley type. That looks really cute. I hope that's a real thing. Anyway, we will see. So Ubisoft, our good friends who leak all of their games in advance and then say, we don't comment on leaks, but you know they're totally leaking it. They have a show every year that they always open with Just Dance, whatever year it is. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that's gonna happen again. I do not know if it's being hosted by a comedian. Watch Dogs is leaked, obviously that's probably going to be a huge showing. They have the Roller Champions game that got leaked, they say is not real. They say that they have 3 unannounced games to release between January and March of 2020, which Watch Dogs and Roller Champions could be 2 of those. I assume they may also mention the Assassin's Creed game that they have coming out next year. What else is Ubi on? What are we not thinking of for Ubi?
Well, they're not going to do... I don't know if you said this already, but they're not going to do Evil... Oh my god.
Oh, Beyond Good and Evil.
Yes, thank
Beyond
you.
Good and Evil, right? Well, they're doing their own stream this week, I think.
Oh, are they?
I think so.
I thought that they said that they weren't going to talk about it at all.
That's probably a good thing.
I could be wrong.
Well, because they showed just like a movie and then we're like, we have no game, but that's what we want it to look like. When they first announced it, it was like, okay. I mean, sure. You can do that.
What about a second Mario Rabbids game? Because that first one was super well received. And it seems like they've been working super closely with Nintendo.
Yeah, I bet they could do it.
Yeah.
I bet people would totally play it, too.
Yeah. I'm still making my way through it, but yeah, it's a good game.
Did they have another
down for it.
team up? Like, I'm just trying... I feel like I remember a Nintendo Ubisoft joint that, like, is not that game. But I cannot remember what it was. Is there something else that you guys remember? Am I losing it? I think I'm losing it.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Assassin's Creed Luigi. Does that sound familiar?
No.
Yes, actually.
Damn it. All right, well, I thought.
Assassin's Creed, Mario Odyssey. Yeah, so that'll be a thing. So the other things that I have, at least from last year, so I know that they have mentioned that they want Rainbow Six Siege to just like not ever get a sequel and just be on every console forever into the future. So I assume they may mention Rainbow Six. Just anyway. I'm guessing they may have DLC for The Division 2.
Possibly. They did have the whole year planned out, so for The Division.
They could.
So that's very possible.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll have.
They said there wasn't like any paid DLC, right? So it's kind of like content drops. Am I getting?
Yeah, it would be free.
Yeah.
For the first year, everything will be free, but they could definitely go into extent of like, hey, we're dropping the next patch today, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all, we forgot about that Ghost Recon game, the Breakpoint thing. They've already announced it, but I'm sure that's going to take up a big chunk of their presentation.
Oh, shit, that's right. Wow, they own a lot of Tom Clancy franchises right now, don't they? Whew. Yeah, Ghost Recon looked dumb, so I hope this one isn't dumb.
God, that last one.
Right.
Narco Wasteland or whatever. It's too much.
Yeah, and it was... the only thing I know about the Breakpoint is that it's set in a fictional Hispanic country and not an actual one. So perhaps it's a slightly less racist this time than it was previously, but I imagine it's another Kill the Brown People game, which is really
it's
sad.
like in I thought it was in like the Bering Strait or something like that. Like it's your super north.
Oh,
like,
is it? Oh, it's not in South America.
It could be
anymore?
in South America. I just thought for some reason I thought it was in like some super remote part of the world. So that was my thought, because it's like you're fighting drones. I thought like drones and mercenaries from what I remember. So it's been a minute.
Huh. Okay. Well, probably. Sure. That sounds correct. I don't know with these Tom Clancy games anymore. They all are kind of rolling into the same game. Although I came into a copy of The Division 2, so I guess I have to get into that now. The pirate game, Skull and Bones, that got delayed, so I'm imagining that's not going to be shown.
Yeah.
Is that
they have not figured out how to make pirates
Is that game
work.
coming out? Like, it's been delayed like quite a few
At
times
all?
now, and it seems like it's just not hitting. So I kind of already thought this was canceled.
Yeah.
I think what happened was Sea of Thieves was announced and came out, and Skull and Bones was announced, and then Sea of Thieves was like really popular, but also people were like, I wish it had a single player campaign, and so then I think the Skull and Bones dev team was like, you know what, this really needs a single player campaign, so let's do that, and now it's pushed until spring or fall of 2020, so
I hope it
Yes.
comes out. I like the sailing.
Are pirates real? Were they actually real
Shut up,
people?
Dan Reichert. I'm not dealing with this today.
Oh, that was very funny last year. Yeah, that would be interesting. The only other things that I have on here is like For Honor, which is still getting updates, so I don't.
Oh,
but I don't know if
damn.
they would have
I forgot about that game.
if it's time for another one because it just was free on PlayStation Plus. You know what I mean? Like, so I always
Right.
assume that's when it's like end of life. It's when it starts to be given away. So I don't know if they would consider doing another For Honor game. They keep making the Crew games that are not good. I don't know why they keep doing that. They probably should stop. Trials Rising came out, right? That was announced last year. It came
Yeah.
out. So that's Trials. I don't know. That's it. That's all I
More
got.
Rayman.
Ask Creed
Give me more
again.
Rayman. I'll take another one of those, please.
You
Yeah.
know what? We haven't heard from Rayman. This might be Year of the Rayman.
It's like the year of the Luigi.
I would be okay with that. Yeah.
Year of
Aw.
Luigi for Nintendo and Year of Rayman for Ubisoft.
He got a whole year. And only 1 year. Sorry, Luigi. Okay, so we also have why does Square Enix even have a presser?
I don't know. It's just
They
going to be a
didn't have
30-minute
anything
video,
last
right?
year.
Or like a video.
It was
Yeah,
so bad last
they're
year. I
not gonna
can't believe they did it last year.
Yeah,
I
it was just
know.
a 30-minute video. Hit play.
What do they have? Like, we talked before we started recording, obviously, about there's an Avengers game that we think is being done by them. Some kind of superhero something or other is being done by them.
They're not going to do...
The Final Fantasy VII Remake is around. Dragon Quest Builders 2. The Finalist Fantasy. I don't know.
Yeah, they have to announce something new, or like either have like ports of old games or something. Like Final Fantasy 15 is coming to Switch, and it's like, okay, great, but then like that literally I just announced it, and so like what else are you gonna, like, how are you gonna fill time? Because that took just 5 seconds for me to say that, so you have an entire hour to go. So who knows what they're gonna do? Maybe they'll go into the mechanics of like, literally it'll be all Final Fantasy VII, like, this is what we're doing for 45 minutes, which would be cool, which would be fine. I mean, that's what people want. They want to know how their game is going, but it sounds like it's pretty much ready to go, so who knows?
Oh man, I don't know. I think that game is like
Well-
probably another year out, but I think they will
You think?
kind of. That's my feeling on it. It seems like that game, they've shown so little of it. It's either going to be like a very bite-sized experience, like similar to Ground Zeroes, or it's going to be like a little. We're going to have to wait a while for it. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Wow.
Who knows?
The only thing that I have on my list that we have not heard about since last year from them was Babylon's Fall, which is the new Platinum Games game that they say is supposed to come out in 2019, but it is now 6 months into 2019. They could talk about that one.
Do we like have any other details?
Quiet
We
Man
saw
2.
that like kind of like story trailer, but that was about it, right?
I think, as far as I know, that's all that's been announced. And that's it.
Oh boy.
And to be completely honest with you, I continue to get it confused with the new game from the team that did The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which is like...
Oh, yeah.
We made, do you remember that trailer that was like from the team that made The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, but also Bulletstorm?
Yes.
That. I keep getting that game confused with Babylon's Fall. In my head, they're the same game. So, I hope they show more, because it seemed like Babylon's Fall was like sort of a love letter to Dark Souls games. Like, that's what it felt like the vein of it was.
Correct.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, Octopath Traveler came out.
They're going to do a Switch port. That will
could...
probably show up in their video, right? Like...
Yeah? Wait, a Switch port?
I'm sorry, not a Switch port, a PC port. My bad. That came out on the Switch first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, has the PC port not come out?
I don't know. It hasn't come out yet, but it may be like tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure.
There's rumors of the PC port, but then also people are rumoring Octopath Travel will come to mobile, which is wild.
I could see that.
Really?
But I guess so. It's like more think like iPad or something, like a tablet, you know, but it's still
so many gigabytes.
Still mobile, so but it's a fucking rumor, so who knows? It's just hearsay.
Yeah. So maybe they have okay, sorry, let me roll this one back. So the Nier Automata team, they were published by Square, weren't they?
Yes. Well, wasn't the main guy moved to Final Fantasy? I thought. Yoko Taro. I thought he was like heading up the next Final Fantasy.
I mean, I would be down for a Yoko Taro Final Fantasy 16. That'll never come out. But now they can't use that excuse anymore, because they used to say, well, we're not going to release Kingdom Hearts 3 until we release Final Fantasy 15. Then they released Final Fantasy 15, and then they're like, well, we can't do anything until we release Kingdom Hearts 3, and then that game came out, so now they have no more fucking excuses.
Is Kingdom Hearts going to get any DLC?
So, maybe? Yes?
I would think that, like,
there has been...
They have something, right?
No one's mentioned. Yeah.
I'm pulling up the...
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm pulling up the, like, list of franchises that Square Enix owns. And I'm looking at it right now, and there's like some like the Chocobo Battle Dungeon, and I'm like, I could go for that. I could see that game again.
Yeah.
They have like Deus Ex is kind of, they're not doing any more of those, I don't think, because I don't think Mankind Divided did very well. Drakengard.
Yeah.
You know, I know that Nier was the last kind of game in that series, but maybe we'll get another one. A small series called Final Fantasy. Maybe Final Fantasy Tactics. Let's get a sequel to that. People seem to love those games.
I love that. Yeah, why not? Sure. I love that they have not listed the Chrono franchise as being dead, even though the last game has not come out since 1999. But it's been 20 years. Where's my Chrono Trigger remake in, like, Final Fantasy VII?
Oh my god, can you imagine if they did a sequel to Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross? Chrono Break?
I would be down. I liked Chrono Trigger.
Did you like Chrono Cross? Because I played Chrono Cross first before I played Chrono Trigger, and it was very confusing.
Play that one. Oh, yeah, because I never played it, so I had no idea. I did not play Chrono Trigger until like 2 years ago.
I mean, so I put a lot of time into Chrono Cross.
I still have not played it, but I know about it because why not?
Wait, they have Bushido Blade? Put Bushido Blade in there. I want to see a Bushido Blade game.
Do they really?
Oh, damn.
Apparently, they just published that game.
Well, they have...
So I don't know. This Wikipedia thing may not be full. That may not contain all of their franchises.
Yeah. Somebody's showing Battletoads this year, though, aren't they?
Isn't that an Xbox thing? Yeah, because they own Rare, right? Okay, just to take
Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, I was just thinking, like, not Battleborn, God. What is that game? What is Randy Pitchford's game? Fuck, I totally forgot what it's called now. The new one.
Oh,
Apex?
Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands 3 is going to show up at Xbox, right? Like, they have nowhere else to really show?
Maybe. What do they have to
I
say?
feel like they got to keep that hype train going, right? Like, I don't know. I guess I kind of thought they would at least show up here and do another presser of some sort.
How many more magic tricks do you want to see, Olivia?
I don't want to see any magic tricks. I was just trying to think who will be cursed with this like presentation.
Well,
oh.
Who would he be? Who would he be alongside? Would he be Microsoft or would he be with? I don't.
That's why I was like, there's only one place he could show at, right? Like they're not gonna go to like a different publisher. It's got to be a platform holder. So I guess Microsoft, or like they'll do the Google event maybe, or maybe they won't show anywhere. Maybe they're going underground for a little bit. Maybe that's best for.
Yeah, right.
Gearbox.
We're gonna get live tweets from Randy Pitchford. I'm on the E3 floor and I think these games are bad.
I guess you never know at this point.
No.
He just appears on a stage in a cloud of smoke.
How dare you besmirch my
Woo! Borderlands 3!
Billions of guns! Showers of lightning down upon the crowd.
How could you fuck me like this? Here's a Borderlands card game! That's the E3 I want. It's not the E3 we're gonna get. But...
Borderlands 3 at Nintendo. Borderlands 3 on Switch.
Okay, I'm sorry. The rumor is going around that The Witcher 3 is getting ported to Switch.
That's bullshit. That's
Shut
never
up.
gonna happen.
So,
That's insane if it's true.
Miracles happen once in a while. If you believe.
I don't think if I even purchased it. Listen, I never completed that game because
I don't think anybody has, and if they have, if someone tells you that they have finished The Witcher 3, they're fucking lying. Because I would dare them to show me their fucking Gwent collection, because I swear to God, I spent more time playing Gwent than actually playing The Witcher.
Right, I played too many games within games to finish the real game, and I feel like with the Switch, the portability, you would think, oh yeah, the person would have like more time to just kind of pick it up when idle and finish it, but no, I feel like I had to, with The Witcher, I had to like sit there for an hour before I can finally like make progress in that game. It's just too big.
It would have to be like a really compromised version of that game, I imagine, to fit it all into a Switch cart, and then also for it to run on that machine.
Yeah. Yes.
And it probably can't include the DLC packs either, because those were like an additional 40 hours of content.
And there were, what, 3 of them? 2 of them?
2, because it was Blood and Wine and...
Heart of Stone.
That one. Yeah, the other one. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that could not be true. It could be true. Who knows? That's the fun part about Nintendo Direct.
It's gotta be Animal Crossing, right? That's gotta be their big focus.
It's gonna be Animal Crossing.
Yes.
If I don't get Animal Crossing, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, so they've listed Animal Crossing, they've listed Luigi's Mansion 3, which I'm very excited about personally.
I don't think Pokemon
Link's Awakening
will be there.
Yeah, Metroid 4. Sure, that sounds right. Last year they did like a whole bunch of like ports, basically. Like they just ran down a whole bunch of ports. So I'm assuming that we could have that again, where it's just like, oh yeah, Captain Toad's here now. Great. Oh, you can play FIFA on this console now. Cool. I kind of envision that being the same thing that they did. Although looking at this list from last year, everything that they announced has come out. So that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
man,
it is.
I hope
they had a plan. They executed.
This won't happen, but I really would wish they could bring like announce some ports of like Twilight Princess and God, what is the one with the boat? Oh my God, Wind Waker. Yeah. So I hope I want to like just have all of those in one place to play them, and having them on the Switch to be portable would be really nice.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that, new Zelda game, though.
Oh, The Awakening? Like the remake
the
remake. Awakening, but really cute and 3D.
I want to see more of it, because it looks amazing.
Plus they have the rhythm game they could show more of, I guess, although a trailer already came out for that, so I don't know if
there's like...
I don't know what more there is to say, other than like, it's coming out today. You could buy
there's
it
like a
right
rumor
now.
that it's just going to drop one of these days, so fingers crossed.
I could totally see that. I could see that.
Do you guys think they'll announce the Smash DLC? I think this is probably the perfect place for them to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They will. Because what else? I mean, they don't have, like I said, they're not going to be doing Pokemon because Pokemon's going to be tomorrow, and like that's going to be the whole thing. They might like kind of touch on Pokemon, or at E3 physically, it'll be there for people to play or see or whatever. But for the most part, it's going to be all their other IPs. So it's either like another Mario game, Mario Maker 2, they're going to cover, go more in depth into maybe.
Well, Mario
then,
Maker
like, anything else.
2 is out in like 5 days, right? Like it's really soon.
Is it? Is it that soon?
I thought Mario Maker was before.
Oh, damn. Well, maybe they won't go into Mario Maker then because... Or who knows? Maybe they'll, before the launch, they'll be like, we heard you like a Mario Maker.
I apologize.
Here's what you do.
It's at the end of this month. My bad. So I thought I was reading that article.
So there might be...
June 28th, yeah.
So there might be like a little bit of a Mario Maker, like 5 minutes, thing. Like, we can't wait to see your Mario Maker levels. Please create them.
There's that new Fire Emblem game too. That's coming out like next month.
Oh yeah, God, I forgot about that game.
Yeah, I've kind of like I've never really played a Fire Emblem game. Like I've started a couple of them, but never have gotten like into it. So I want to. This could be the one.
I do feel like at this point, if they don't talk about Animal Crossing, someone's gonna burn the Nintendo headquarters to the ground, and it's gonna be me personally.
I was playing Animal Crossing New Leaf recently, and that game, I love that game, but there are some like weird technicalities with the like, oh, I'm gonna go to your village and hang out, and then it's like, oh, you got disconnect, like just the disconnections and all that stuff. So I really hope it has a focus on online play. Like I really hope they've like ironed all that shit out, because I would like to do more Animal Crossing with my friends remotely.
Yeah,
that would be nice. Do you think they're gonna show any more of the Pokemon Home stuff? Because I know that the stream tomorrow is just Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yes.
No, that's old. Pokemon Sword and Shield.
And gun.
Sword, Shield, Gun, right. That monkey's got a gun! So I'm wondering they could show Home stuff. I mean, they already kind of did a stream about it, so I don't know. That's just like the only other thing that's out there, unless they just are like, hey, by the way, we're making a Kid Icarus game. Bye.
Oh god, I hope not. Fuck Kid Icarus. Recently playing through Kid Icarus 1, it's bad.
What if they're doing another Olimar game? A Pikmin game?
Pikmin Switch, yes!
Yeah. Like, we haven't seen him since Wii U, so that's possible.
I feel like a purple Pikmin.
Maybe just, like, bring both of those games over. I just want them to bring all the shit from the Wii U over to the Switch. Just give me everything. Give me access to all the old games.
Yeah.
If backwards compatibility is not like just gonna become the norm, I think I might riot, because like I got really excited when I remembered that I just bought an Xbox One late in the console cycle, because that's who I am as a person, and I got really stoked when it was like, oh shit, I have a bunch of Xbox games I could play again from my 360 days, and I don't have to get the 360 out of the box.
Right.
And that filled me with a sense of childlike wonder. So that's what I want out of all consoles. It's just, let me play old shit and not have to buy it again. Resident Evil 4 being $60 on the... Is it 40 on the Switch? It's like way out overpriced.
Oh. I guess you're right, yeah. If it's still like even $40, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I think Resident Evil 4, the port to the Nintendo Switch, is like $40.
Wow. Well, you know what, though? I think that's just Nintendo Switch, though, right? That's just Nintendo in general, because I think we discussed this a while ago, where their store is very weird, where they'll never have a discounted game. It will always be full price, unless there's like a specific sale going on, because of some weird-ass legality clause. And it's just like, what? What do you mean? There's no discount. It's always full price with ports, so...
Yeah, I know, bastards.
Anyway,
so a couple games we have not mentioned. Do you guys think Control will have a showing? Because that comes out in like August. I don't know if they have a lot more to show other than just it's coming in August.
I'm sure there'll be a playable demo somewhere available.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing it won't make it into a thing. There's also Anthem, which
is Anthem still like a thing? I'm wondering. I'm really nervous, but I totally forgot that game even came out. I need to like go back and look at it.
Yeah. There is the potential for Dragon Age 4 stuff, because they've already done a teaser for it, and the team has been working on it for a while. I mean, I know that team got pulled to do Anthem, and then FIFA, and that was weird. So there is always the potential that could be like a ace in the hole, to just be like, by the way, we're still working on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be, I don't know. I don't know if they'll have enough. Like, I know that they did a teaser trailer, but there were no video game assets. It was literally just a PowerPoint presentation. It's like literally a PowerPoint presentation where images were just moving, and like it was a voiceover from the last game. So I don't know if that was enough, or like any indication of where they are on the game. And I feel like I read an article where it was like, hey, this isn't going to be out for a very, very long time. But who knows?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if they were going to try to do some damage control, since they've had some bad things mentioned about them and their studios. Yeah. I mean, that's more of an EA thing, but it could be shown on Xbox, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel bad for Xbox, because it feels like that's just the place where everybody kind of ends up if they're not someplace else. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, Sony's not here, guess we'll just show it at Xbox. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I don't know. But then EA's not here either, so who knows? I suppose the only other wild cards here worth mentioning is Limited Run Games is doing a presser again this year. They did one last year. I don't know if either of you care or watched it. They do limited runs of games, so usually they'll do physical editions of indie games. So last year they did like Observer, they did Golf Story, they did like Thumper, I think they did Layers of Fear. They did like 2064 Read Only Memories. They did a whole bunch of stuff. Like Night Trap got a weird physical edition, and Splunky did too, I think. So like they're doing another one this year. It was very cute because it's like a small company, and so they had like a really kind of hacked together video presentation with like bad green screens, and it was just like very charming. And sort of very, it was very cute. Like they were doing the best that they could in somebody's garage. And I don't know, it felt really good because it felt like they really cared about what they were doing. I thought that was sweet. I know, kind of funny. Isn't that
Greg?
Greggy? Game Over Greggy?
Yeah, Greg something.
Oh, Greg Miller? Greg?
Game Over Greggy? Greg Miller. Greg Miller's his name.
Greg Miller. Okay, so they have come out and said that they have like 70 indie games to show.
Oh, damn.
I'm not really sure what that means. But anyway, figured it was worth mentioning. So they are having a stream at some point in time. I don't know. And then that's it. There's no EA outside of the weird EA Play stuff. They're showing like more Apex Legends, more Battlefield 5, the Star Wars game that magically has not gotten canceled like all the other Star Wars games.
And now it's just surprises.
No Sony.
It'll just be surprises, like
Microsoft
will mention Scalebound is back in development,
or
who knows.
Oh yeah. So
it's not happening. Scalebound's dead. I want it to happen. It's not happening.
Didn't they say something like it was picked up, but it's dormant for now? Like they haven't forgotten about it, and they still want to go back and revisit it.
Like the worst thing you could say.
But they had to gut the whole thing, and so it's basically it has the same name. It's still kind of the same concept, but like it's complete. It's like Prey with Prey 2. It's a completely different game now, so we won't hear back from it for a long ass time. It was a cool game though. Cool concept. Like 7 years ago when it was announced, and then never came. So
R.I.P. So I guess on that note, go ahead, Olivia.
I was gonna say it's a lot of E3. I feel exhausted. We haven't even done it yet.
I know, and then we have to do it, and then at the end we have to talk about it again.
Oh
so.
Boy,
it's just beginning, baby.
Well, we'll be more optimistic.
Well, so let's be more optimistic. Usually at the end of our podcast, we sit around and do our salutations where we talk about cool things that are making us happy. And so instead of the usual, I would like to challenge you to be optimistic and tell me your most out of left field, totally unrealistic, but like the game announcement or announcements or whatever, ports, who cares, that would make you super stoked about E3 this year, and you could totally say Half-Life 3. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh shit!
Keep believing. Maybe one day it'll come. I don't know.
I do, in my heart of hearts, I do believe Valve will one day make video games again. I mean, other than Dota and their Artifact and
Half-Life 3 is a card game now. Sorry, that's just how it goes.
Can you imagine?
Oh, Jesus. I actually can. I sure can. And now Half-Life Auto Chess.
It's pretty good.
It's bad. So sorry. So Olivia, how about you get us started with what would be your like super out there, totally would make E3 2019 for you, crazy.
So this is never gonna happen. But there was that one fabled Prey 2 trailer that came out. Like, this was before the new Prey had come out, and it was like a cowboy, you are in space. It's like still has story ties to the original Prey game, and it became like kind of a it's like human head was still making this game, and apparently it wasn't actually like, this is just a like concept video almost. It's all like, you know, FMV. It's not actually a real thing. But I really want that game to come out. I thought it was like the idea of being a space cop in an open world just sounds amazing, and I want Arcane to develop it. Like, let Arcane work in an open world. Give them a game to play. Do not shut them down ever. And I want to like have space powers and they'll teleport and shit. I think that'd be the best game ever created.
That would be really cool.
And like, give it a fucking bitchin' soundtrack. I want like Johnny Cash and give me Dolly Parton in space. That's actually the real answer.
I think that the truest answer is I just want you to make this game. Like, I just want you to amass the power of 1,000 game studios and create this game.
Guys,
because I don't know if anybody could make your vision as perfectly as you've just described.
Big news. I bought Microsoft and Bethesda and Arcane. I'm bringing it all together. Nice. Yep, sorry.
Good.
Xbox is canceled.
E3
We're a Prey 2 studio now.
Stoked this year.
Perfect.
You know, I have a game, like a disc box someplace that has a Prey 2 advertisement in it. So it was weird that they actually had like promotional material for that game.
You should hold on to that thing. That's kind of amazing.
Well, it exists.
Yeah.
It exists in someone's hard drive somewhere. Like, they didn't just scrap that whole thing, or maybe they did, but I don't think they do.
I just wonder how much of it actually got made. Like, I kind of imagine that this was like hey, we've got like a very rough idea.
Probably that one level.
Yeah, it's not even a level. Like, this is all just like pre-generated video. Like, I guess actually no, people did say they played it. So
no, it's one level.
We need this.
And then they just
if you have that demo, please contact me. I want to see it. I want to play this game. Tyler, what's your dream announcement that's not Half-Life 3?
Well, I had an idea, and I'll go ahead and give you my original idea, but I came up with a better idea that I love. But my idea was, you know, it's E3, it's EA, it's their like presentation or whatever, and then like at the very end of their stream or whatever they're doing, like the lights go out, and then like you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, oh, did they have like, you know, a technical difficulty? What's going on? And then you hear like this awful screech, and you're like, what the fuck was that? And then, but it's like a familiar sound because you played a lot of horror games.
This is very theatrical.
It's very painting a word picture.
Yes. Anyway, so then you hear a horrible scream, and then like the lights come on, and the entire visceral team is on stage or on the
descending
screen,
from
and
the
you're
heavens.
like, what's going on?
They're all in rigging. They're just coming
and they're
down.
Like, and they announce that Dead Space is being rebooted and being ported to the Switch,
back,
and
baby.
like
a necromorph bursts out of one of them.
Yes. They all turn into necromorphs.
100 necromorphs drop onto an island.
Yes! I would love that. I'd love a Dead Space reboot, but I just remembered a very old game that was like announced, I don't know, like 2015. It's called Scorn. And this is a atmospheric first-person horror adventure game. Yeah, it had like all the weird like it was like Alien meets something.
Was this the one that was in the pit of hell?
Yeah, it was like hell. It's not agony.
Yeah.
Like, it's what people confuse agony for, but it's totally not. And it's like it's really weird and bizarre and like creepy as shit. And I really, really want to see that game finally like see the light of day and like be published. It's still in development, but it's very slow apparently. It hasn't heard anything from them.
Scoring is still on Steam, so it isn't totally dead.
No, it's not totally dead, but like you haven't heard anything from the developers, you know? So like, when is it coming out? What's going on? I want to know. Please release
They had
it.
to go to hell to get reference photos, and now they're gone. We can't get them back.
Yeah.
We need the Doomslayer to go down there and save them.
Yeah,
That's
but it was
actually
just
the plot
so
of Doom
weird.
Eternal.
It was so weird, and it looked amazing. So I really want to see Scorn. If they dropped Scorn, like that will be my shit. Because I think this was like pre-Bloodborne. I don't know. This is a very old, like, reveal. I feel like, but anyway.
As of August of 2018, they're still developing the game, which is good.
Yes.
Okay. That's less than a year ago, so that's promising.
It was announced November 2014. So yeah, it's been quite some time.
It's just cooking. Just needed 5
Just
years.
needed some hellfire, some flesh
Yeah.
to make it full.
Some of the old damnation. It's fine.
But that would be my wild one. Rebecca, tell us what you would like to see.
So
Your hopes.
on our Airtable, I put down that I wanted Morrowind remastered because I thought that was what I wanted. Because I never really played a lot of Morrowind. I played it like a later, and so I was like, this doesn't. I kind of bounced off of it. Like Elder Scrolls Oblivion was my favorite one. Like, if somebody put that on the Switch for me, I would be like, sorry, I can't work anymore. I just play Oblivion now. Because I love that game and I played the shit out of that game. But I realized that I was lying to myself when I put these down, and I wasn't like really looking deep inside of my soul to like the very.
Go ahead. I was gonna say this, but I'm happy that you're saying it now. Thank you.
Okay. I really had to take a second to look very deep into my core. I don't know if you are thinking what I'm thinking. You probably are not thinking what I'm thinking, but I know what I'm thinking, and that's the actual truest game that if somebody announced it, I would probably cry. For real. Is The Order 1887.
Oh!
Please give me more Order!
Yeah.
Please give me more Order!
I'm with
I fucking
you.
love that game!
I'm with you.
Oh my god.
I'm so disappointed.
I would just like...
This was not what I thought.
What did you think?
I thought you were
I
going to
was
say
gonna
New
say?
What was
Vegas,
it?
like a New Vegas remaster.
Oh.
Well,
I'm less for that.
I don't know.
I think I would like to
If
see
they
both.
went back, I would almost want to see a new.
I'll take a New Vegas
That's
as well.
bad. Like a New Vegas 2. That sounds so bad. I'm
Newer
really sorry.
Vegas.
But I don't know. I would be interested in that. Yeah, newer Vegas. Imagine if New Vegas was on this.
Y'all are horny for that order, so I get it. I understand. The mustaches are powerful.
The mustaches are too big.
That's really
It's
what I
true.
want. Yeah. And it's bad because that guy that they have on the Modern Warfare, the cover, he has like mutton chops, and I was just like, fuck, I play this game too.
God,
damn it with the facial hair. They keep
I love
giving
your
me.
weakness. It's very good. I love that that's the way to your heart. It's just facial hair.
It's really shitty. Like, it's a very shitty thing because I keep looking at stuff that I have otherwise no interest in, and I'm just like, well, do I have to play it because they gave me a boyfriend? I don't know. I can make any game into a dating game. I'm not kidding. It's my superpower. So maybe my truest answer is I just want all games to be dating games. That's my E3.
I really hope someone makes a Rebecca like dating simulator, and it's just you, and then just like you're dating different pieces of facial hair. Like, it's like, oh, the handlebar mustache is looking at me in gym class. I need to go talk to that handlebar.
A dating sim,
Oh,
just
God.
mustaches and facial hair. Yes,
It's just.
let's do this. Should it be like?
I would
Should it
play
be gritty stop motion, or should it be like 3D rendered bullshit?
Give me Dragon Age, except all the characters are replaced with.
I was
facial hair.
imagining more like something like it's all 2D, like I want a Dream Daddy, but it's facial hair. It's Rebecca, and you're in high school for some reason,
I would-
because that's where these games need to take place.
And like, what is
Wow.
Stubble basically?
These high schoolers have such nice facial hair.
Yeah,
It's very strange.
is Stubble just basically like almost invisible, and like he's the shy and quiet type?
Yeah,
that
he
really
finds
can't
stubble in
interact with
the
world?
library, and it's actually a ghost.
Exactly.
I imagine that like a soul patch or like a goatee or like a really assholey facial hair would be like the tsundere, right?
Yes.
Would that be the tsundere role?
Maybe.
Some really like douchey. Anyway, thinking a lot about that game, but
that was a wild tangent.
Take personally for me. Anyway, I guess what we got out of this is stop making shitty Fallouts that aren't Fallout New Vegas, because it's the only Fallout that matters. And somebody, please, God, resurrect the Order 1886 franchise. But Sony's not even going to be there, so don't let your dreams be dreams. Okay, well, that was a podcast. We will reconvene once again in 2 weeks, once E3 for real has happened, and hopefully we will not have to ring the shame bell a second time, or, the third time, I guess, because we rang it last week, too. Anyway, and we can talk about some of the games we saw, if any of our wild predictions were right, if I get the mustache dating sim of my dreams, who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Certainly not I. This has been the Greetings From Podcast. You can find us wherever podcasts are hosted, such as Apple Podcasts, Simplecast, Spotify, and more. Send your questions to greetingsfromcast@gmail.com. You can call us at 347-642-6377. That's Firm Gamers on your phone pad. You can visit us online at greetingsfrom.zone. You can follow us on Twitter at greetingsfrompc. We stream every other Friday on Twitch at greetingsfrompc on Twitch. My name is Rebecca Faye. You can find me at Rebecca Faye. Olivia, where can they find you?
You can find me at LivJQ on Twitter. Tyler, where can they find you?
You can find me resurrecting Dead Space on World Jumpin' at Twitter.
My body is ready.
Isaac. Sorry.
Congrats, gamers! You made it to the end! Thanks for listening to the Greetings From Podcast. Our intro and outro song is an edited version of Deep Fried Space Food by Substitute Sandwiches. You can find a link to the song, along with links to all the stuff we talked about this week, in the podcast description. Find us online at greetingsfrom.zone, where you can listen to more episodes, find out more about your dangerously good-looking and charming hosts, and catch up on our blog. You can also follow us on Twitch and Twitter at greetingsfrompc. Send your questions, messages, or anything you'd like to greetingsfromcast@gmail.com or call us direct at 347-642-6377. Until next time, happy playing!